Hey guys, Crumple Flags back again with another video. Today I just wanted to talk about the USGS website and show you the site with basically all of the magnitude 2.5 and above earthquakes that have happened in the last 30 days. Basically, the bigger the circle, the larger the magnitude, and the color will determine what warning level it is. So red is the most extreme. I'm going to ignore the color coding. I'm just going to look at the magnitude. As you can see from most of these quakes, they're all between 5 and 10 kilometers deep. There are some that are a little bit deeper, but a lot, especially up here towards the beginning of April, they all seem to be between 5 and 10 kilometers. So I wanted to have a look at this. I wanted to see if I could get a crude map of the so-called deep underground military bases. And I found one, and I'm not sure if this was drawn by a particular person I won't mention that was quite famous back in the 90s. But in any case, I've done my best to try and overlay this with what you see underneath it. So if you look around here, you can see that a lot of these quakes line up with this line. A lot of these quakes line up with this line connecting all these different bases. So I don't know. For me, this doesn't look like a coincidence. It looks like they line up very nicely indeed, as well as a cluster over here down in Texas connecting these two. And then this doesn't quite map perfectly here, but around the Tulsa area there's also a cluster of earthquakes that have happened. As we all know, tectonic plates shifting can cause tremors and earthquakes. But as I said, I'm not an expert. I'm guessing that things like ordnance, like grenades, bombs, large detonated charges probably would leave some sort of seismic activity in the ground. I don't know for sure. That's just an assumption. So around here, because it's not quite perfectly traced, I'm just going to flick this on and off just to have a look at where exactly these earthquakes are dotted around. So this state just north of Texas, excuse me, I'm not from the States, but it just cuts through the middle of it like this. So if we have a look at our crude diagram, you can see that this line doesn't quite cut through the middle of it. It's possible that this is related, but it's not close enough for my liking, because this is just coming across the top, not cutting through the middle. If I switch this off again, you can see it's cutting through the middle. Turn it back on, this line is not cutting through the middle. So maybe these were quite genuine. I don't think that you can attribute this necessarily to what we're what I'm proclaiming it to be. So we've looked at these ones here, we've looked at these ones here. I'm quite happy that these might have something to do with this map that's pasted on top of it. This, not so sure. And then this one in Salt Lake, I'm pretty certain that this was another target, because they don't line up, obviously, but that's because of the crudeness of the map. But if you look at the map, you take this state above, and you cut straight through this corner, and you get sort of the top third in the middle of this state. If I just take this off, cut through this corner, and bingo, top third middle of that state. Now, as for these ones up here, you're going to need to bear with me a bit, because I needed to use a cruder map. Well, I needed to use another map, because this is only a portion of the states. So I had to use this one, which is a little bit more messy. Now, just have a look at the key. You've got square means suspected entrance. Circle means known cavern. Circle line, or circle with a hole in it, is a reported entrance, and then 2 circles is a main tunnel site. So let's take a look at this, shall we? I'm going to switch off this underside just because I find these dots a little bit distracting. Actually, let me just switch this back on so I know what I'm looking for. So let's do this state by state. So we were just at Salt Lake. So let's skirt up the left of, I believe this is Wyoming. So let's skirt up the western side of Wyoming. I'll turn this off and have a look at what's going up the left side of Wyoming. And look what we have. We have a bunch of suspected entrances. So this is all I've got to go with, guys. I don't have, unfortunately, a proper map detailing this stuff. But I've seen this map many times, and it's all I can go with at the moment. But it's a nice coincidence that this line skirting up the west side of Wyoming is exactly where these tremors are. Now let's look at the top western side, the northwestern side, if you will, of Wyoming. Do we see anything there? I'll just switch this off just so it's a little bit. So, well, the line running up to the main tunnel site is along these lines. So that's also quite suspicious and completely bang on with what we're seeing on the USGS website. So we've done all this. What about this one here? Bang in the middle of Idaho. Let's have a look. Do we see anything bang in the middle of Idaho? We see this with some suspected entrances. Excuse me. Bang in the middle of Idaho. It's not quite where I'd want it to be because the map is kind of suggesting it's here with suspected entrances starring outwards. So, yeah, could be, but yeah, it's not quite enough for me to draw a conclusion on that one. I mean, I can't really draw a conclusion on anything, but it's there's definitely some unlikely coincidences I'm seeing here. Okay, finally we've got this earthquake here, which is in Oregon. So if we look at Oregon, which is this state here, right bang in the middle on the western third, there is a line and a suspected entrance. Let's just switch that map off. It's, well, I mean, it's probably on the line that we see on that map, but it's not on any suspected entrances, but it's definitely on that line. Who knows, maybe they're blowing out the tunnels to make sure that there is no means to travel between bases. It's probably the easiest way to isolate them all, right? Stop them from escaping. Man, I sound crazy, but yeah, these are crazy times, so yeah. So that's it for those ones. And then you've got many that are dotted along the tectonic plate, which I'm going to choose to ignore. Even though if we check this map, I'll just switch off these dots. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to leave the ones on the tectonic plate. So that covers these ones. And then if we look at the ones down here that we just looked at before, it's incredibly interesting. This line right here, this line right here, and kind of, this is a possibility. But really, these two stick out for me like a sore thumb. I definitely think that some of these tremors are being caused because they are being targeted. And there's something going on underground. And I hope and pray those poor people, if the stories are true, are rescued and brought back to their families and rehabilitated. That's it for me, guys. Once again, stay safe, stay alert, stay vigilant. Make sure you keep a decent amount of supplies with you. Wait for this thing to blow over. Hope and pray that the truth gets released upon us within the next few weeks. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.